What's up, dreamer? Welcome to Dream Right Go DWG dog. Let's get it. A lot of you guys know that I'm on a quest to create a game. Yes, to become a game dev extraordinaire. And along the way, I have to learn how to do a lot of things that I have little or no idea of how to do them. So exciting. But before we go any further, I got to send a mad shout out there to GameDev Journey. GameDev Journey was so kind to feature me on one of his videos. And for those who may not know, GameDev Journey is a young man who gets onto the interwebs and into the YouTubes and everything and finds the resources to help you on your game dev journey, right? So there's videos about games that you may not know that existed that was made in Godot. This gives you an idea of the things that can be done, some of the creative stuff that's happening out there. He gives you links and stuff to the resources that you can use, tutorials that you can use, channels that you knew nothing about that can help you on your game dev journey. Mr. Game Dev Journey, you are a wonderful asset to the community, and thank you so much for your kindness. Now, the first question that I have out there for all you Godoters, right? You know that I'm at the beginning of my journey. Here's the thing. Godot 4.0 is rumored to come out around December, maybe January or so, right? But Godot 3.5.1 release candidate is out as well. Now, 3.5.1 will become a stable release very soon. Do you think that me being at the beginning of my journey, do I just kind of like flow with Godot 4.0 since that's where I'm going to be ended up at anyway? Or do I jump on that 3.5.1 being that there's probably way more resources and stuff that can help me along my way? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, what this video is about. If you're getting your computer ready to do some game development, now this is just me thinking, this is just what I'm thinking and what I'm doing, right? So if you're getting your computer ready to do some game dev, you might want to upgrade a few things like RAM and stuff like that, right? In this case, maybe going from a 250 gig hard drive to a 500 gig hard drive. Well, whenever you do the mirror image, and this is on Windows 10, and whenever you're doing a mirror image coming from a smaller one to a bigger drive, you might have an issue where there's some unallocated drive space that you can't use, and you have to get rid of the one partition in between. Usually it's the rescue partition, so that that whole C drive can be seen and be used. If this is something that you have come across or have happened to you, you might want to check out this video and see what I'm talking about. Now, disclaimer, this is what I'm doing for me. This is all about me doing what I'm doing on my system. I am in no way telling you to follow what I'm doing. If you decide to do that, that's on you. But I just wanted to share what I'm doing to solve a problem that I ran into. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go. You can click on here where it has create format hard disk partition. Once you do that, you'll get this screen. I'm going to open it up just a little bit. And here is my extra hard drive, storage hard drive on disk 0. On disk 1, I have 3 partitions and some unallocated space. We have a system reserve. We have our C partition. This is where the hard or the operating system resides. Here is a healthy recovery partition, and here is unallocated space. Here's the problem. My C drive can't use or see this unallocated space. It's not using all the space that it has available to it on the new 500 gig solid state hard drive. The problem is this partition right here, where it has healthy recovery. Now, normally, let's just imagine that all of this space here was labeled as unallocated space. If that was the case, all I would need to do is right click on the C partition and choose extend volume. This would allow me to incorporate the unallocated space into the C partition, and it would see all of that space. As you see, it's grayed out and not selectable. The reason why is because the unallocated space has to be directly to the right of the C partition in order to perform that act. So now I have to get rid of this healthy recovery partition. If I right click it, you'll see that all it says is help. I can't do anything with it. I can't move it. I can't left click it, or I can't right click it. I can't do anything with it inside of disk management. So now we're going to solve that problem. I'm going to leave this open. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to call a program that's inside of Windows 10. And that program is disk part. Okay, when you see that right here, disk part run command, we're going to right click that, and then we're going to click run as administrator. Now when you do that, a box is going to pop up that says, do you want disk part to make changes? You're just going to click yes. You're not going to see that on this recording because it won't show inside of the software that I'm recording my screen with. So I'm going to go ahead and click run as administrator. Here we have a DOS screen. Some people call it the dark side. People who are familiar with command line or Linux, you'll be very comfortable with that. Although if you're running Linux, you're probably not on a Windows machine. You'll see here that disk part has been activated, is running, and we're going to start our commands here. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to list the disks on this computer. So we're going to actually type in list disks or disk and hit enter. Now here we have a list of the disks that are on this computer. You'll see disk 0 online, and that is this one right here, disk 0. We have disk 1 online, and that is this one right here, disk 1. Now the rest of these are from my external USB connected flash drive, so I can pop in, see pictures and things of that nature. There's no media in there, there's no drives in there, so we won't be paying attention to that. What we are interested in is we want to see what's inside of disk 1, because the problem that we're having, this partition here, is on that disk. So we are going to select disk 1 by typing select disk 1 and hit enter. It'll tell you that you are now in disk 1. Disk 1 is now the selected disk. Now inside of disk 1, we want to see the partitions. So what we're going to do is we're going to list the partitions by typing in list partition and hit enter. Now you'll see that the partitions on disk 1 have been listed. We got partition 1, which is here, the system reserved. We have partition 2, which is the C drive. We have partition 3, which is the recovery, which is the one that's giving us this problem. You won't see the unallocated space because it's not a partition. It's nothing. It's just there, unusable. So now what we're going to do is we need to get rid of that healthy recovery partition. And how we're going to do that is we need to select that partition first. Okay, so we're going to type in select partition 3 and hit enter. And the computer will tell you partition is now, or partition 3 is now the selected partition. Now that it has been selected, we are going to now tell this program to get rid of it for us. And how we're going to do that is we're going to tell it to delete partition. Okay, so we're going to type in delete partition, and then we're going to type in override. Reason being is that we need to override any security nonsense that it would block us from deleting this partition that is giving us the problem. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and hit enter to do so. As you can see, it now says that this part successfully deleted the selected partition. And did you notice here, that's why I wanted to leave that there, did you notice that it disappeared? It's now gone. Okay, so now let's just move this down. Now we can go to the C drive. We can right click it. We can hit extend volume, because the unallocated space is now directly to the right of the C drive. We're going to go ahead and follow the prompts by clicking next, and it sees disk 1 Okay. And we are now going to hit next. Just want to double check one thing. Okay. Right. Okay. So now we're going to hit next and finish. Okay. There we go. Just wanted to make sure I was following the right steps. So now you see that the new C partition has now grabbed up the rest of the unallocated space, and it now can see the full hard drive, and it is now the C partition. Now, of course, you could have maybe use that as a separate partition to do separate things on it or whatever, if you didn't want to do this, but some people may want to do this. So you either could create a whole nother partition using the unallocated space and not worry about that little recovery thing that's in the middle there, or you can do the steps that I just showed you and use the C drive to grab up all that space. I'm going to go ahead and close out this DOS screen. So now with this, my next step will be that I will go into my computer, I will make a brand new image of my Windows 10 install, and I'll save it over to my external drive, and I'll probably save it to 2 external drives just in case one dies on me or something like that. So I have a clean, pristine copy of my Windows 10 installation the way that I want it. So if anything ever happens, I can always go back to a clean, pristine install of my Windows 10.